published 1730 Est, the 1st of January 2018, updated 0645 Est, the 2nd of January 2018. As we ring the first bell of the new year, there is no place for a British fighter in the first two major rankings of the top 10 £4 boxers in the world. No, not even for three-belt world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, whose epic victory over the legendary Vladimir Klitschko packed Wembley to its 90,000 capacity and electrified the world. But then these ratings are made in the USA. Anthony Joshua beat Vladimir Klitschko in front of 90,000 spectators at Wembley Stadium. ESPN included WBC heavyweight king Deontay Wilder in their top 10 £4 list. At least the Bible of boxing, The Ring magazine, does not go so far as the ESPN broadcast network in allocating 10th place to alternative heavyweight title holder Deontay Wilder, whose resume does not include any opponent approaching Klitschko's stature. However, both sets of rankings are laden with American prizefighters and boxers who reside or campaign over there. I venture to suggest that our chauvinistic transatlantic cousins will be given reason to widen their horizons as 2018 becomes a bonanza year for British boxing. Joshua will be to the forefront, as he was in 2017. AJ will look to add New Zealander Joseph Parker's WBO belt to his WBA, IBF and EBO titles in an eminently winnable unification fight late this April or early in May. Then, assuming the contractual minefield can be negotiated, Wilder should be bringing his WBC belt to a late summer Wembley extravaganza in which Joshua would bid to become the first undisputed world heavyweight champion since Lennox Lewis. By then, assuming David Hayes' creaking body holds up, he and Tony Bellew will have returned to the O2 on May 5 for a rematch to determine which of them gets into the Megabucks mix. David Hayes and Tony Bellew will renew their heavyweight rivalry in London in May. Former heavyweight champion of the world Tyson Fury is set to return to the ring in 2018, as if that would be enough heavyweight beef upon which to chew in 12 months. That would still leave Joshua time in 2018 for a Battle of Britain blockbuster with Tyson Fury. The British boxing year gets underway in earnest in Manchester on February 17 as George Groves defends his world super middleweight title against Chris Eubank Jr. The winner proceeds to the May final of the new World Boxing Super Series tournament, probably to face Callum Smith. Whichever of them is the last Brit standing should then find himself in a championship unification stadium bout, possibly against James DeGale if Chunky can redeem the shock loss of his world title to Caleb Truax. Kell Brook will keep the pot boiling on March 3 by finally moving up to super welterweight as he tries to make a hometown Sheffield comeback from eye socket-busting defeats by Gennady Golovkin and Errol Spence Jr. April will be alive not only with Joshua mania but with Belfast bouncing as Carl Frampton continues his comeback against four-time world champion Nonito Donaire. Former twelterweight world champion Carl Frampton faces the great Nonito Donaire in April. Winnet and the Jackal will be booking his first stadium fight, at Windsor Park, against the winner of Lightning Welshman Lee Selby's proposed May 19 world featherweight title defence against Josh Warrington at Elland Road in his challenger's home city of Leeds. The big fights in Britain are now packing more fans into football grounds than the football. Television audiences are growing quickly in tandem as boxing crosses over from its core support to excite the wider public. Women and youngsters included as the hard old game transitions into a must-see Saturday night out around the country. Billy Joe Saunders is hoping to leap onto that bandwagon following the brilliant outclassing of the big punching David Lemieux in Canada to keep his world middleweight title, Thurby signing off 2017 for British boxing in style. The Hatfield Traveller is pushing for a super fight in Las Vegas against the winner of the probable May 5 rematch between Golovkin and Saul Canelo Alvarez for the majority of the middleweight belts. WBO middleweight king Billy Joe Saunders wants to fight Gennady Golovkin or Canelo Alvarez. Daniel Dubois above all surely become the youngest British heavyweight champion ever. Realistically, for that to happen he must hope Triple G gets the win over Canelo, of which he was robbed by the draw-scoring judges in September. Golovkin is the more interested of the two in clinching the undisputed title by taking the WBO belt held by Saunders. However, the third act of a huge money trilogy could take precedence for Golovkin and Alvarez if there is another controversy or a close decision. If so, Saunders will look for another route to the big time. As will Fury, DeGale, Brook and Amir Khan, who is vowing to turn his back on reality shows and celebrity appearances to focus on 3 fights this year, culminating in a shot at his third world title. Terry Flanagan, Cal Yafai and Ryan Burnett face testing world title defenses or unification fights. It doesn't end there. A Joshua-inspired new school of young men totally dedicated to living the Spartan lifestyle of the modern fighter are coming up fast. Daniel Dubois will surely become the first man under the age of 21 to win the British heavyweight title, and put himself on a fast track to challenge Joshua. Anthony Yarde, with 14 wins, including 13 knockouts en route to becoming European light heavyweight champion, is on course for a world title challenge before the end of 2018. Britain's Olympic bronze medalist Joshua Buatsi has 3 fights into his professional career. Joshua Buatsi, who achieved 2 knockouts when winning bronze at the Rio Olympics, is 3 impressive fights into his light heavyweight career under Joshua's management. It is also time to start paying proper attention to the most naturally gifted UK prospect, Scottish super lightweight Josh Taylor, who looks virtually ready for a world title challenge after 11 wins, 10 by knockout including the silencing, albeit temporary, of the boastful O'Hara Davies. We wait and watch for at least a couple of this starry collection to force their way into the pound-for-pound rankings. There, in the case of my top 10, to join Joshua among the world's elite. In my list I have backed away from the Stampede to anoint Vasyl Lomachenko as the world's best, as have the Ring. The Ukrainian is indeed the most spectacularly gifted and uniquely different boxer in the world. But in terms of achievement, his rapid progress from all-conquering amateur to TWA division world champion lost a little of its luster when he used his financial power to force Guillermo Rigondeaux to move up 2 divisions rather than meet the Cuban halfway by moving down 1 weight. Lomachenko's day will come, but for the moment Golovkin remains my number 1.